So the split's an interesting choice to go with. I'm not sure if we've discussed what your other depth applications are going to be. One of the things looking at here is the value getting lighter, so this isn't depth being applied here. Transparency would be very difficult to pull off with a split, so depth is an obvious choice since you're going smaller, so you may want to take another look at depth and how you could include that. Thinking about those color concepts, obviously harmony's in play here. Look for three major ones, so everything past week 3. I think the one thing that you mentioned about something missing, here the spider mostly feels like a line drawing. This can be all right because it's more of a detail. So that this is the part that concerns me a little bit, and I don't know that it necessarily needs color, but possibly a little bit of value here to just give it a little bit more shape. The line drawing comes off a little bit flat, especially against this kind of gradation with the flower. The butterfly wing, it being flat, isn't as much of a concern because we anticipate it to be kind of a flat area. One of the things that in your earlier comments you were talking about this feminineness, the feminine idea, and this feminine spider. So let me see if I can get a decent grab on this. I don't want to grab all that, do I? Let's see if I just let me pause this and see if I can get a decent grab. So to catch you up to speed real quick, I went ahead and selected all the white area. I went ahead and just painted out the spider black so I could grab it. I've already grabbed it with the magic wand. I'm going to go ahead and turn that layer off. I'm going to go back to the original layer. I'm going to zoom out here so we can see the whole thing. Now that I have this selected, I want to move it into this background. Now this only really works if you have this in separate layers. But what you could do is you could add a little, because I think what you're thinking about is this feminineness, and since this is a feminine shape, what you can kind of do is make a little bit of a textured background with this shape. So bringing up our hue saturation tool, which we're very familiar with at this point, and you could slowly add this, and I would do it a little bit more uniform to the background. And depending on how you kind of word your statement, you could also do this as transparency. You could also layer it as transparency. It could be done. I would do it a little bit differently, and it's something you would need to think about. But think about also how you kind of line these up. And it doesn't necessarily need to be this dark. I'm kind of going a little bit darker just to make sure it shows up on the video, because when I do things as subtle as I'd like them to be, they don't always show up on the video. So just do a couple more there. But just to give yourself some background, and really if I was going to do this, I might put these in some kind of more distinct pattern. I would probably put them in kind of a four-corner pattern maybe, or maybe a radial pattern to reflect the flower a little bit more. And you could do this with this kind of line work as well. So let's see if I think we can get a decent grab off the line. Let's put continuous on. So to not to overdo the background here too much, but just to add some little soft feminine touches, which is something that you're kind of mentioning. And also to do a little bit of play of the positive and negative space as well, and activate a little bit more of that background area. So let's deselect so you can see there. Hopefully that's pretty clear. Well, let's go ahead and zoom in, and I didn't want to move your image. Zoom into right here. So hopefully you can see it's just almost like a cast shadow in the background, or a drop shadow, some may want to call it, but just a little bit of something back there. And honestly, I would do it much lighter than this. I just did it that dark just to make sure it was seen on the video. But to help you give yourself something a little bit more with the design, some room to add some more color concepts, depending on how you were looking at this. And it can be any other aspect you want to look at this. It's something for consideration. But let me know if you have any questions about it.